Novak, if you could you just start off by telling us about the match, how you felt about the match and your level of play at this particular point so early in the tournament?
Sure. Well, look, it's tough to talk about third and fourth set because he barely moved. My side, I started great, played a really, really good first set, and after that, just, I don't know. I was 4-3 serving in the second set, and everything was working well, but then, I just lost the first serve, very low percentage of first serves, and credit to him for fighting, and he had the crowd behind him. It was tough, to play in my first match, even though I had up, till tonight, tons of experience playing on this court. For him, it was the first one. Still you get nerves. You still, are feeling a little bit rusty at the beginning. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm pleased with the way I finished the match. But, it was not a fair battle, so to say, on the court with his unfortunate injury and cramping. And, it's a tough rule as well, that if you have cramps like this, that is, creating such a hindrance to your game that you're unable to move, and then unfortunately the rule is such that you cannot get any medical timeout for cramps. So I mean, it's a gray line, really. I mean, I understand on one hand that players should do everything in order to avoid cramps, but again, it can happen, and when it happens, it doesn't look really great for the crowd, for anybody, that he doesn't get at least one medical timeout, but. Rules are rules, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much. Questions? Ben?
Ben Rothenberg, New York Times. Actually, my question is not on this match. It's about a match tomorrow with Olga Danilovic. She's playing against Naomi in the day session tomorrow. And I know she's somebody you've been sort of mentoring or working with. I've seen videos that you two together on court. So I just wanted to hear more about how your sort of relationship with her started, what you've been sort of working with her or telling her, and also what you think about what she's going into in that match with a player like Osaka tomorrow.
Yeah, I followed Olga, ever since she was very, very young, and her father is one of the greatest basketball players of all time in our country. Played in NBA as well, so she's got the great genes for sport. She won the WTA title, I think, in Russia a few years back. She broke the top 100, and then she struggled in the last couple of years really to find that level. And be consistent, but still she's really young. I mean, she's 20 years old. She's got the goods. She's really strong, fit, tall, lefty. I don't have many good lefty servers, in both men's and women's games. So I think it's quite an advantage. If she's serving well, she can do damage to a lot of players. And the more matches she's winning on this stage, the more comfortable she's going to feel. So yes, we've been speaking a lot. I've been trying to help her out as much as I possibly can, her team, her family, with guidance on and off the court, some advices. And I'm really glad that she managed to qualify, win the first round. Tomorrow is a match where she has nothing to lose, really. I mean, she's playing probably against the first favorite to win the title, so on the center court. She's excited. She was asking me, about how it feels to be on the big stage, and of course, you can say something, but then you really need to experience it, So hopefully she can use that to her own advantage, the motivation and inspiration to be at the biggest stage, to play against one of the best players in the world. She's a really nice girl, and she's pumped. Let's see. She doesn't have much experience, really. She's going to be first match on the center court of any slam for her, so I'm hoping for the best for her.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah. Matt Federer from the New York Times. New York is a funny place in that the crowds are always rooting for upsets, but they also like to witness history. What is your relationship to this as you're going to hopefully be marching through the tournament, and you're absorbing the noise that you're hearing in that very large stadium?
Yes, it's the largest stadium in sport, and definitely the loudest and the most entertaining stadium we have in our sport. So, yeah, obviously, you always wish to have crowd behind you, but It's not always possible, and that's all I can say. I mean, I don't know. I've been focusing on myself and what I need to do, and I guess I have to just see how it feels on the court and try to keep it together. That's all I can do.
Okay. Lisa.
Yes, Liz Clark from the Washington Post. Congratulations, Novak.
Thank you.
Seeing what young Rune went through, it reminded me of your long journey and the learnings you made over the years of your diet and how to prepare yourself. Was there a year or a moment or an epiphany when you felt confident you know how to manage your body and your health for the level you want to sustain?
Well, it was also dependent from the people I had around me. So, I always looked to have, as well as my parents, that really try to, create an environment around me which would be stimulative environment filled with people that care about me, people that have expertise, have knowledge in our sport, and obviously preparation, recovery, training, biomechanics, techniques, tactics. You got a lot of different elements that need to fall in place, so to say, that in order to create your own individual formula of success. I did struggle with injuries and retirements early in my career, and I did, so that's why I can relate to Holger, what he's going through, and we just had a little chat in the locker room, and it's an emotional moment for him, and it's not easy to see that, he's really sad, and I understand that. I've been through that. I just told him that he handled himself extremely well. I think he didn't want to stop, so I thought he's going to stop at the end of the third, but he just kept going and with dignity finished off the match. He deserved definitely my respect, the respect of a lot of people, and he's still very, very young, 18 years old, so he's got plenty of time ahead of him. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of him in the future.
Willie
Weinbaum from ESPN. Novak, coming into this tournament, what did you consider the biggest obstacle for you other than the people across the net, and how do you work on handling it given all that's at stake?
I guess as always, you have tons of expectations and pressure from just the whole tennis community, and including myself. Obviously, I would like myself to win, to go far, to win the title and make the history. Without a doubt, that's something that inspires me. But I am focused on trying to be the best version of myself every day. And I thought, I know it sounds like a cliche, but there's a great power in being present and working on mentally and emotionally, working on being in the moment and trying to handle it in such a way that would benefit you. I have my own routines that differs probably from all the other guys, and I just try to do things, surround myself with people, and have a trajectory and journey in this tournament that suits me, that I know that has worked in the past. So there are things that you can always rely on, go back to when you're experiencing a little bit of a turbulence in terms of emotions on the court or off the court. When it gets too much, then I've developed a mechanism where I feel like I can mentally handle that, but it's not a guarantee, right? So I do have a formula for many years that has worked well for me, that got me to where I am, but at the same time, it's not necessarily a guarantee that it will work every single time. So of course, you have to be flexible, open-minded, and rely also on your environment and the people that support you. They are there for you, so they can deflect also some of the things that are coming in off the court that you don't need to think about, handle, and just focus on what matters this few weeks.
Okay, we have time for two more English in the room. Bill and then Mark. Bill.
Congrats, Novak. Bill Simons,
Thank you.
Inside Tennis. You're so wonderful that you share so much about your process, and I'd just like to talk about this. It's one of the greatest questions we all have. How do you stay right in the moment? And you do so well in that. could you just take us a little further and share a little bit about what your formula or approach has been?
Thank you. Well, there is no secret potion or one thing that I would highlight, say this is the biggest secret of my success or being able to stay in the moment. It's a combination of various factors and elements in my life, in my approach to everyday life, my training, my recovery, my mental work. As I said, an environment. I know that everything matters. In the end of the day, it all affects and contributes to the performance in one way or another. But then also we have to consider the fact that when you're on the court, there are some unpredictable things that can happen. Whether it's on the court with your opponent, whether it's the sensations that you have, whether it's the crowd around or whatever it is, the importance of the moment. You go through really a roller coaster of emotions on the court. So I just every time I lose that concentration and focus, I try to bounce back and bring my attention back to the moment, which I think conscious breathing helps a lot. That's one very, very simple way to stay present, as I'm trying right now.
Last question, Mark.
Yeah, Mark Berman, New York Post. Getting back to the crowd in that second set and then chanting Rune, I was just wondering what was going through your mind.
I didn't know what they were chanting, honestly. I thought they were booing.
They were chanting.
Okay, I don't know. It was, it was not ideal atmosphere for me, to tell you that. But I've been in these particular atmospheres before, so I knew how to handle it.